damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie, because it was somebody who was lit, and all those distractions and temptations got him, you know, an outcome of not being successful. So now, when we think about it, these people they try to do this scripted bribery, right? And back in the day, it would work, but now everybody who got a little bit of money is bribing women. So now you got to be real creative with your bribe, and they don't have creativity. You feel me? So instead of investing into trying to bribe a woman, what you should invest in is a coach at how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? How to be the man, I should say.
Higher Rico.
Come on. And with that being
Smooth
said,
talker number
come on,
one.
man, get yourself the book, How to Be a Rico. You feel me? Because I could do that for you. But it's going to cost you a lot of money, my guy. And I know you got it.
I feel like we're talking about two different kinds of guys, though.
Really?
No, because I understand the kind of guy that you're talking about, the kind of guy that is trying to bribe you into, fucking with him. And, that's a corny nigga. But when I said smart, I'm talking, and you mentioned it too, like they're probably not the most attractive kind of person. So they focused on their craft. Like growing up, like being in school, they were really smart. They paid attention in class. Like they were really into books, and they weren't social. They didn't have a lot of friends, or, probably the friends that they did have were a lot like them, really into school, really into books or whatever. And they didn't really find the time to
They didn't
branch out.
Time out.
And develop social skills.
Words are very, very, very meaningful, right? And find the time and have the opportunity to be invited is a big difference. Those people don't get invited.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's true.
So it's not that they don't have the time. They are not fitting in, and granted, it is to their benefit when you want to think of it as a monetary sense. They can probably go off and do something well and have a great, sustainable job, right? But the real, we use the word success, and then to me, a success is you can't just do one. You can't just have money. You're not just successful. You could be rich, lonely, and miserable. You're not successful in my eyes. In any way, short. Same. And you could be the coolest guy, has all the popularity, but you have no financial stability. You're not successful. You need to have all. When we use this word success, I use it as like the GOAT. Like you have to be a LeBron James. You have to be a Michael Jordan. You have to have embodied all of the characteristics and have a lot of success in each one of those things, and not just one of those things. So when we say a successful man, to me, he is not a successful. He's just a financially stable man. He's far from successful, especially if you're like in your later ages, you know what I'm saying, 40, 50, 60 years old, and you're still got no way of speaking to women. This is, mind you, probably 20 to 30 years after you got your success. You feel me? So you mean at 35 years old, you making 7 figures, close to it, high 6 figures?
I'm like,
And by 50 years old, you still don't know how to talk to a woman?
But they were focused on their career, kind of climbing up that ladder. So it's not a one and done. So you spent all that time focusing on school, right? So now you're focusing on school. So now it's competitive to get into college. You focus on that. You go to college. Let's say you go to law school or medical school, right? And then you get into either a great law firm or you get a great residency. Now you're competing. You're working 80, 90, 100 hours per week just to get that position because it's competitive. So by the time you're actually at the career that you want, you're about 40, 45 years old.
Yeah.
Hell no. That's cap. Listen, I tell you right now, I dated girls who graduated at 30 years old and their start salary was $200,000 a year. Okay, that's your start salary. Realistically, if you can make $200,000 a year and the ability of credit loans that you're getting out the door, you haven't even started your job yet. And the girls is different because, she got money. They was goofy as hell. Yes, they're goofy as shit. And that's the and
You made an exception for the girls.
no, she got cut too because I realized I can't be with a goof troop. Like I can't do it. But at first it was cool because it was the money. Like, she had the bread. It's like, all right,
But
cool.
it goes the same way, though.
Yeah.
So they're not really successful in the way that you're talking about success as a whole,
Mhm.
because they have all this money. And when we're talking about money, I'm talking about real money. I'm not talking about financially stable, as you say. If a person that we're talking about is really this successful, like really have gone through trials and tribulations to cut out their whole social life, they got money. They got real money. They're more than just financially stable. They can't get the person or the people that they want, because the people are only around them for money. It's not sustainable. It's not nothing that's gonna last. Cause like you said, they're corny and nobody really wants to really deal with anybody that's corny. Or I don't want to say corny. You said corny for the
Goof. I
girls
said
that you
goof troop.
goof troop, whatever. But
Yeah.
that's not their vibe. Like,
But then why would you want to do that? See, like you just told me that if
what did you say? You
no,
said
no,
because the money was cool.
no, that's not what I said. I'm asking you, why would you want to embody this career path that's going to make you socially awkward, that's going to have you most likely single or most likely with somebody who's only with you for what you provide and not with you for who you are? Why would you even want to go down this route?
I don't think it's like someone chooses to be socially awkward. I think either you have it or
Or
you don't have
Absolutely.
it.
Nobody chooses
Like
this.
it's just like certain people just don't have the personality or the skills or the confidence or whatever that may be to create a, a reality for them where they can function in every space in society. Like I learned this language when I was 17 and I hated myself for many years because I couldn't be funny in English. That was very awkward for me in the beginning. And then once I learned how to be funny, I'm like, finally I can be myself. But with people that are born and raised with the native tongue or whatever, and they're successful and they can't function in a social setting at 40, 50, they just don't have it.
You know what I?
And so then you gotta bribe.
Nah, hell no.
I'm just saying, like
Honestly,
that's
like,
the
no
only
one-
option you have at that
Yeah,
point.
no one chooses to be socially awkward. And especially because, like, if this started from school, right? It started from when you're younger, you're not taught to be like, okay, well, what do you really want in life? What kind of girls do you want? Like, it's what do you want to be? Like, what's the career path you want to
Yeah.
choose? And you move forward in your schooling doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in my schooling, and maybe this is where I'm from is different. We were taught what do you want to be in the people's eyes? You know, like everybody, we were always said,
What
don't.
school is that?
I went to Woodbridge High School, right? And in my
Yeah.
school, we were probably one of the most diverse schools in the state of New Jersey. So it was dope. You got to experience all cultures. So now the crazy part was that everybody was following a little bit of everybody's culture. So everybody was at one point they felt like everybody was trying to mold into one thing. And then that's when they had to separate it. What do you want to be? What realistically, who do you want to be? Right? Instead of following what everybody else is doing. And for me, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's always how I looked at it. Now, when it came to a job, and I remember this vividly, my principal as a sophomore told me I need to pick a job or a career that's going to involve people being born, people dying, and people having to be taken care of in between the times, right? So I was like, I'm going to be a dentist. I have great teeth and I love teeth. I take and spend a lot of time on my teeth, right? That's what I want to do. Until I start, and I was great at science and biology. I had 102 as my final grade, right? So I was like, this is gonna be a layup until I start doing it, and I'm like, I'm too lit to just be a dentist, like,
Yep.
and so that's how I feel about that. But I wanted to go back on something real quick. When we're talking about focusing on school, right? And I love this because I've dealt with doctors, so I have a good, experience with them. I remember, speaking of one specific one, she was complaining. She graduated top 10 in her class, right? And the one, I think there was only like 70 or 80 people in her class at the final stages of your schooling to become a dentist. The girl that was barely even graduating, starting off and getting the same money as her. And the reason why the girl barely graduated was because she was out having her fun. So who's the real winner? The one who learned how to balance work and real life, or the one that only learned how to balance work? There's people that say, I mean, listen, I did a lot of book reports on Michael Jordan, and there's a lot of people and I don't know their names, so I can't reference them right now. But there's a lot of people in the history of Michael Jordan's career who said that they were better than Michael Jordan. It worked out for Michael Jordan, but that doesn't mean Michael Jordan was better than them. So now it's like, okay, who Michael Jordan actually is the guy who is able to do both. So that's why he's the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? But it's very rare that you can do both. Well, that's it. We gotta
right there.
I mean, it's not, because those guys don't exist. And you gotta think about it like this.
I'm like, I buy my weed from them, so.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Exists.
in the time frame that we're in right now, no offense, Alan, but nobody above the age of 40 years old got swag like that. Like this generation right now. Right? I know, Alan, I know. Hold on. We are the most, listen, we are in the most swaggiest time of, nah, we got to, yo, wait.
Bro, I'm like, who got to pass swag?
Yeah.
Nah, we got the most swag in history. We know how to talk to girls better. You gotta remember, their generation was crying over women.
You
They
guys
had a
don't-
whole decade crying
Girls
about
don't
cheating on
have,
them.
standards.
Like two women.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, but
No, I think what happens is the girls lost their standards, so the guys think they got swag.
she's funny.
Yeah.
The laugh,
the
Marie's laugh.
standards are
Absolutely,
skyrocketing at this
like,
point.
The
They
women
don't
in
have
this
standards.
the women in this generation is so different from the women of
Yeah.
but they're
You
way,
don't have to open my door. You don't have to do
These women
anything.
require nothing.
yes.
They have no
I'm gonna lay it
standards.
out for you anyway. So
Oh
you
my
No, no, no.
God.
Just pay
I
for
seen
dinner.
guys get excited. You come through with a bottle of Patron.
No, yeah, I don't know where they live. Maybe Jersey.
Wow. Wait, hold on.
I'm
Time
like,
out. Relax.
Maybe
we were
it's
cool,
you.
Anna.
I'm like, I don't know.
You gotta realize, okay, listen, there's always been hoes. First of all, let's not get that confused, right? And I'm
Today.
not like today, but today is worse because back then, right? Back then, you had women who offered nothing but
Yeah.
arm candy and demanded everything, right?
Yeah.
Now these women,
We bring a lot to the table.
What?
they have a lot more ability to do a lot more things, and they have a more skill set in doing them. Like, I believe that the young women now, most of them are more frivolous with their bodies because they've gained the ability to have assets more than before, right? Or skill sets more than before. They know how to make some money.
Hold on a second. I gotta say
Yo, Ali got behind the mic. I mean, the women are crazy. Don't get me wrong, but
For the record, the reason why my generation definitely had more swag, and no shade, no shade to your generation, is that in my generation, to make money, like real
Yeah.
money back then, you damn near was risking your life. You was really about that life. You were really that dude. There was no faking it back then.
yeah, that's
This
true.
generation can fake it.
Well, first of all,
The faking has gotten so much that I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't tell the difference.
I mean,
Back then,
yeah.
you could walk in the club and you knew who was who because your name was in the streets. You had references. Now it's if you have
Instagram.
yeah. Now it's likes and followers, so you don't know
You
who
can
is
pay for
who.
both.
but
Yeah.
that's why.
So that's all I had to say about that.
I would say
Amen.
this.
Shout out to Gen X. We got this.
Look, I would say this. The Gen X, I believe, had more realer people, realer men.
Because
But they did not have more swag. You feel me? Now they had more authenticity. I give you that. And I love that. And that's why I learned from so much of you guys, because I put that with the swagoo of us now. And that's why you get a Rico. You know what I'm saying? So what I will say is, but nowadays, these men don't got swag. And the men that are bribing women are part of the Gen X. Okay? Let's be real.
because they're now outdated. So like that, if they are doing the bribing portion, it's because they're getting to an age right now where like their swag is like not as swaggy. They're not as cute unless they're really like not even
Yeah.
Botox. Like at that point, it's like you passed that.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're gonna keep up with the swaggy generation, like you have to put some money down on the table and you got to do the bribing. Like that is.
But think about it like this. We grew up with iPhones. They didn't. Well, you know what
Yeah,
the
I know.
difference is? When
I'm like I'd be texting with 55-year-olds. I'm like, huh?
yeah, you feel me? So when you go with an iPhone, you know what happens every year?
What?
It's a new one in the software update.
Oh, I know. I
So
don't
we are
even
with
keep
the
up anymore.
change.
Yeah,
But don't do that now.
I'm getting there.
The next thing you know, you're like, I don't care about a new
yeah,
phone.
no, give me a flip one actually.
You're gonna have an iPhone 12 and iPhone 40. I mean, in 2040, it's gonna be crazy. You can't do that. We don't get outdated here because we already know how fast the world works.
You know,
Right.
hold on. Can I just interject real quick? Let me tell you why what you're saying doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Only 7% of people
Mm.
in the US make over 500,000, right? So that is a really small percentage. So out of that percentage, right, you're talking about a group of people that committed their life to their education and career, right? So that's even smaller. So when you take away the majority and you're talking about Gen X doesn't have swag, the math is not mathing.
Now I said not swag like us, but the math does math because if I say, hey, listen, let's do a cross comparison, right? Of how many 18-year-old millionaires there was in the 1980s and 18-year-old millionaires that there are in 2023. And then let's look at the trajectory for the next 10 to 15 years. These kids are finding a way to make buco's amount of money faster, smarter, with less chaos on their body and physical tension than ever before. So realistically, this is why I say we don't know yet. So when this 18-year-old becomes 45, 50, and they were able to sustain it for 2 decades, it's going to be different. Like we don't even, we're talking about something that's so much further out right now. So I don't believe that they're going to be doing the bribing. Women now, everybody.
Oil.
I went to Miami and I seen people who I didn't think could afford a flight there. And I'm like, everybody's able to travel now. Flights are cheaper. Women have more experiences with all different types of thirst bucket men, corny and real. Men have to step their game up over and over again. And eventually the people who are bribing are not going to be able to bribe a woman that already experienced life. So then those men are going to have to find an alternative. And you know what that's going to be? Buy my book.
Do you know? Wait, do you know why? So do you know why
That's a great
I
selling
think you're
point, right?
wrong? Let me tell you why I think.
Whoa,
you're
I'm
wrong.
never wrong. It's an
Okay?
opinion.
It's an opinion. But this is the thing. This generation is part of the most non-resilient generations that's come. They don't
What
have
generation are we
resiliency.
part of?
And that means they can't deal with
Precisely.
rejection
We're
because
millennials.
it's like if they get rejected, it's like their whole world collapsed.
That's
They
true.
don't know how to
Yeah.
fall, stand back up, fall,
Yep.
stand back up, fall,
Yep.
stand back up. So you guys aren't that resilient. I'm not talking about you guys.
Yeah.
So when they fast forward, they're gonna bribe because they won't be able to deal with being rejected by women.
And I mean that by itself, like even if you work, like this is a very dry comparison, but like if you look at the work market, like the millennials, they come to work and they get trained and they stay for 2 days and then they leave. And I feel like that generation, because they can't handle rejection, they can't handle criticism, it is not long lasting. Like they will step in and they will step out and they do not care. Like I feel,
Wait, you're a millennial, by the way. So
I
tread
know,
carefully.
damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but-
you mean the one after us?
I feel like my brother's generation
Yeah.
is where things just went left.
Yeah, Gen Z, I think.
Yeah, Gen Z,
yeah.
exactly. I feel like we have commitment.
Yeah,
and
that
we,
one.
Yeah, that girl.
What up, girl?
You still look way better, so like you're fine. But no, like my brother's generation, Gen Z, they just don't. They can't handle the rejection. They can't take commitment, and they get bored. Like at least their generation, even if they only have the option to bribe, it's not even gonna last for them doing that. Like the older generation, they're gonna stay bribing. Like
Yeah.
I mean, they also probably have a little bit more money at this
I
point.
was just
so.
about to
Well,
say.
hopefully. But you gotta think. So but this is the best thing about it, and I want to make sure that we're honing in on this part because this is the part I believe so much. I got so much passion for. We are the most skilled, qualified people ever to ever exist in the last like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So if I can take a job, and this is things that I have done, I take a job and be like, this isn't gonna work for me, but I want to pick up what I can learn from here, and I'm gonna use it over there. And then I keep on going and keep on going, and next thing you know, I'm at the table, right? So like when I'm speaking from so many different experiences.
Learned from
Yeah.
the last job.
What happened?
I said, what's the skills you learned from the last job?
Well, first, like my last job, they kept telling me to quit, and they're like, yo, no, for real, like
Quit.
they're like, yo, they kept telling me you're too good for this. I said, yo,
Oh.
but I'm learning so much from you guys because you guys were great marketing. Like I worked for Apple. Like you guys are the best marketers in the world. This is why I'm here. I'm actually learning when I have these meetings and how we're doing different things. So I was picking up things for myself, right? But the same way that men, and this is, I just want to tie it back full circle, the same way that men and women today have the ability to go out and really learn skill sets more than ever, right? It's the same way these people who wanted to dedicate themselves to a job, to school, or to a sport need to learn the skill set to be a real man and or woman. When you are a nobody and you make it into rap, you make it into model, you make it into acting, you know what the first thing that they do when they realize you're incompetent? They put you in media training, press training classes. You learn how to speak.
Yeah.
You have no choice. So when you're a man and you want to go ahead and become a doctor and you want to, bury yourself in school or whatever that takes 10, 15 years of schooling, you need to get that media training for the public so you don't have to look like a creep. like you got to do it.
I feel like our generation is also like enlightened. Like it's not just the word of like being smart and like learning a skill set. Like we're enlightened in many, many ways and many different aspects of life. Like I know how to function socially. I know how to be cute. I know how to be funny. I know how to do math. I know how to do sales. I know how to do marketing. I know how to do social media. Like our parents' generation, they knew skills and they knew academics. And now with us growing into like this like fully enlightened actual like society, it's going to be harder for those who stick with one thing. So like the men that did stick with academics, like all of a sudden you can't compete in the society because all of a sudden you're talking to women that are like, no, 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 I know everything about every little piece, but not everything in terms of like I'm fluent in it, but like I'm enlightened.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like the older generation has a hard time fitting in because they had one track to go
Yeah.
to. And we all of a sudden we have the whole world to pick from. I am now turning 35 in a couple of weeks, which is crazy. And to my mother's dismay, I don't have children. I'm not married. I am single for all the boys out there that want to bribe me.
You mean
But,
men?
no, I'm
Men.
just kidding. But I look at every year as like a straight up like increase of my like life quality. Like I am so happy with every year that I enter. Like, of course, at one point, I would love to have a partner again. I was in a long-term relationship right before COVID, and then smack pandemic. They're like, "You think you're gonna start dating now, bitch?" I don't think so. But us turning 40 and like having the freedom of like making our own choices with our own lives without having to like ask for permission or suppress ourselves or do something that we don't want to do, which is either being domesticated or working in a job that we don't like it is a blessing that we can turn 40 and be like, bro, I am exactly where I want to be in life. I might not have all the pieces, but like I'm getting there and
Yeah.
it might take longer, but like in my way, I'm getting there.
And that's why like I personally love the millennials. We are the first breakthrough generation in this country.
Amen.
We are the first ones to break through the domesticated life. We're the first ones to break through and say, nah, I don't have to go the conservative 9 to 5 way. I don't gotta go to college 4 years and then do da 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 da. I'm gonna make this happen my way. We're the first ones to do that. And then, now we have Gen Z who has picked up some of those traits and went too far left, but it's okay. We love them no less.
And
But-
Amanda's like, I'm about to fight someone.
But no, they're great, and I'm not trying to shame them. I'm just messing around. But like with that being said, is like okay, millennials are turning 30. I would love to see what what stats are out there about the millennials at 40. I would think that we're probably healthier. I think that we're more mentally healthier, and we are the resilient one out of the bunch because we had to break through all of the traditional things that was being implemented into us and installed from a kid. So you're welcome, Amanda. Like we did this for
I am
you.
barely Gen Z, okay? Barely.
No, but I agree. I mean, again, turning 35, never been in a better shape in my whole life. Never had a booty. Got one now. Just letting it out there.
Glad to-
Yeah, no, but like I think that we get to focus on things that were important for us, and like we get to work our asses off for ourselves rather than our parents' demands or our partner's demands or whatever that may have been before. And I think it should be celebrated. I think it
Mhm.
also like the whole concept of like us getting older as a negative thing. Let's take that out.
we already did.
Yeah.
We already,
I
and
like
you
it.
we learned from them because I keep on hearing, yo, it only gets better when you hit 30. It
I
only gets,
agree.
and I'm like,
I agree.
alright, like,
All of
like,
a sudden, you know yourself. Like, you know yourself. You know what you want out of life. Like, you're happy with what you have. And you keep working for yourself in a way that's like,
fulfilling.
yeah.
I would argue there is more fulfilled people under the age of 40 than there are the ones that are over 40, excluding the one who's living off of retirement, good pension. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you gotta think about it. If we take all the work, let's be specific. Let's take all the people who are actively working, right? I think that there are more fulfilled people under the age of 40 than there are over. And I think it's because the simple fact that we are doing more so what we feel we're called to do.
Yeah, they had
And
less freedom.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're, like you said, in my opinion, we have become the most aligned individuals from 1985 on. These kids are more aligned. These young teenagers are more aligned. 30, 25, 35, 38-year-olds are more aligned with whatever they deem as their calling and their purpose than ever before. Before, I feel like everybody was working for the government. Like, it's like a
Yeah.
bunch of robots. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, you do this, you work this job. You go ahead, you be construction worker.
Yeah.
You go ahead and you do the plumbing. Now, granted, did they have a fluent society? Yes. But did they have more misery individually? Yes, which is why we learned and fought to break through that generation of tradition, because we understood that there was more to life for us personally. And now there's more people, in my opinion, that are fulfilled living on a day-to-day basis,
I agree.
you know?
I mean, even looking at my sister raising now 2 kids, she's about to pop like the third one. But the way she handles her children in comparison to how our parents handled us, I'm like, kudos to you for like not like shaming and love my mom and dad. So I'm not saying that they shamed and stigmatized us all the time, but they definitely try to raise us with a bit of shame. Like, if you didn't do it that way, like, you're gonna be shamed and society's gonna shun you and blah blah blah. I feel like these days I'm like, listen, you want to be creative? Be creative. Just make sure that you take care of the things that you really need first, but you should be creative. And I think that's the same thing goes to dating. Like, I don't want to date to have a husband. Like, I want to date to find the love of my life where I'm going to laugh all day. I can go to brunch on a Sunday and get turned up and have the greatest time. I want to get knocked up and be like, listen, we don't have to plan for every little thing. Like, I love that about our generation. Like, let's keep that going.
All right, well, you had me. We got to have more structure here, though. I'm with
That
you.
was the instructions. Write it
I'm with you,
down.
but,
I
like,
think that's a generational
Let's
thing. That
not-
might just be a some people thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, Gen Z.
It started with you.
Structure.
Nah, but I agree. I mean, listen, man. My thing is, if you want to go back to the topic about men with no swag, and that's why I say, like, it's so great now, because even like for you to not have swag in today as a 25-year-old, you still got more swag than they did at 25, 20 years ago. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like,
That one's like,
you still got more game. You gotta realize all these little dudes be out here lying and scamming. And a lot of swag is lying. Like a lot of swag is lying. So, like, the old guys, they be lying in weird ways and sounding creepy. And, next thing you know, you coming off like grandpa. Like, you feel me? You don't want to come off like grandpa. Come on. Yeah,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I agree 100% with the generation. I've been saying this for a long time. We probably could rewind tapes back to 2018. I had to say it right now for the 2020. Be cool how you be cool. That's all you got to do. But the problem is we have a double-edged sword, right? We got the young, I'm just speaking for dudes right now. We got the young dudes, right, who are trying to be everything but themselves, right? And sometimes the problem is they're getting paid to be everything but themselves, right? So now they don't know who they are. But then again, they're usually 21 to 25. You really don't know who you are yet anyways.
True.
They need more time, right? But then the weird part is when you're 45 and you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's because you wanted to do all the other stuff. And I'm saying it's cool to go ahead and be, financially good, but you're still soulfully lost. You know what I'm saying? So now you're coming off awkward, and now you're trying to compete with the younger kids who don't even know who they are. So now where are you really going? You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
What I want to say about the guys that are socially awkward that know who they are,
We love you.
they might not
No
be
judgment.
able to talk to girls in the way a swaggy, successful man would be able to talk to girls. But if they're themselves, they can still pull who likes who they are.
Exactly.
It might not be the baddest bitches. It might not be the Instagram models, but it is somebody. It is somebody who likes exactly who they are. I'm just being for real.
Yeah.
Because Sheldon, and honestly, I watch Young Sheldon way more
I
than I
love
watch
that you
Big
referenced
Bang
that.
Theory. But Sheldon's a nerd. Like, he's a super nerd, but he pulled I wouldn't say baddie, but she's a attractive female. He has a girlfriend who is attractive, but she likes him for the nerdy kind of guy that he is.
Awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very awkward.
Yeah.
She is smart, but she's attractive. So they kind of have but they have something in common that connects them.
She's an A+ and he's a B-, realistically.
Well,
I think it's
to be honest,
rare
I
to
did
have it all.
mention earlier that someone that is socially awkward and takes the time to, uses all of their time in their books and their studies, sometimes isn't always the most attractive person, but that doesn't mean that they can't be attractive. We can have a socially awkward person that is very attractive, but they're not going to attract the bad bitches and whoever, because they're not attracted to that kind of personality. So it's like, even as you progress and you get all of this success when you're older and you have the money and now you're trying to look for someone to be with, I feel like maybe you can pull a bad bitch, but a bad bitch that can handle the personality that you have.
Like,
You guys got to be able to interact with each other all the time, go on dates. And if you really can't get with somebody that's socially awkward, or you don't like anything about this person, like what are you guys doing?
So I went on a date with this man, just as an example, and he's super, super attractive. He's very successful. And he was fine, like, if it was just him and I. Like, if we sat for dinner, like, it was a great conversation. Well, I wouldn't say great, actually. Sorry. But, like, it was
Thank you.
it was
so
an
far.
okay
Let's be real.
conversation. Yeah, I'm like, let me backtrack. But then I took him out in public, and it was the
Embarrassing.
most disastrous thing I've ever done. We're sitting smoking hookah, and he was so nervous that he wouldn't even smoke the hookah correctly. And then once he did, he felt like everyone was watching him. He was like, I can't sit in a situation because everyone's watching us. I was like, listen, if we go out together, everyone is going to be watching you. Like, you got to be okay with that.
Was everyone really watching him?
Yeah, probably.
I was like, was
But,
it in his head or
he
what?
was so uncomfortable and socially awkward to the point where I was like, bro, like, I like you, but, like, I can't like you. Because my life is a lot of the times out in people's eyes. Like, I have to be able to go outside with someone that functions. And, like, that was just not it. Yeah.
And that's the thing. So we have to be real with what is right now, okay? Let's just be real with what is right now. Whether you are in a pop culture scene, whether you're in a rave scene, whether you're in a hip hop rap, you know what I'm saying, scene, we all like to have fun here in America. And our fun consists of hookah, rooftops, brunches, lounges, dinners, clubs, concerts. Our fun is public. Our lives are public. So if you are publicly awkward, I'm going to take socially out and say you're publicly awkward. Nobody wants to be with a publicly awkward person because we are all reflections of each other. And I ain't going to have me looking crazy. Just like I would hope you wouldn't have me have you looking crazy. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, I think it's so important to understand people skills,
Yeah.
right? That is, if you don't have people skills, you can never be successful.
Yeah.
And in my honest opinion, there's probably a lot, I would say 50% of successful people right now in this country who just have people skills. They just know how to talk to people. They know how to talk to the right person, and they know how to actually, make whatever it is work for them. And that's how they got successful. But those people can have those people skills in the room and outside the room, in the party, and at home, or at family dinner. When you're lacking people skills, you're a flawed individual. And it's going to show in your relationship. When women are cheating because they're bored of their husband, because he had no people skills and he had money. He didn't have the people skills to communicate and have fun with her and excite her and to keep things going. Because he was bored he was boring himself. You feel me? So like, you don't want to lose rich. You don't want to lose being rich. You want to win being rich. You feel what I'm saying? So you need to have these people skills. They are the most important thing. And that's why I go right back to the media training. They train you to learn how to speak in public.
But even
saying?
with that though,
Feel me,
Rico,
guys? You guys
yeah.
understand what I'm trying to say? I really want to see men win out here.
Okay, can we say, what are some things?
Go ahead.
Okay, Anna, you're about to say something?
No, I was gonna
No, my
say
bad.
even with being trained to get how to like the public speaking and media skills, that is not for me like a true it's not a true social skill. Like a true social skill for me is like I walk into a room with strangers and I don't even have to like say a word, but I can look at you and I can smile and all of a sudden we have a connection and we can start chatting and I can talk to you about whatever it is in life that is like not if it's something that's it doesn't even matter. Like I can speak to you. That is a people skill for me. Like I can get all the media training in the world, and I can know how to look at a camera. I can look at look at you doing a show. But see,
Yeah.
I've had no media skill like training, by the way. So all the angles are bad. But like the social skills, that's like not always like a natural thing, but it's like a thing that you have or you don't have.
But do you think
I
that
I think it's acquired.
You can learn to get out of your shell to be yourself and like feel like you can connect to people because that's what it comes down to, right? You have to be able to connect to people. So in whatever way that is, like, hey, listen, I know you're Jamaican. I used to go to Jamaica, or I used to work in a clothing store. You have a fresh fit, like whatever it is that you can grab and connect to someone else with. That's a people skill. Like if you can make a conversation out of nothing and still feel connected to a stranger, that's a people skill.
and
And not everyone has that.
and you know why? Because they said they lack something that you just mentioned. I kind of mentioned earlier. Experience in life. Okay, if you're Jamaican, I went to Jamaica. That's an experience of life, right? I wear a kutta, right? For those who are Punjabi Sikh, it's an Indian bangle that respects their religion. So I have conversations with people with turbans all the time, and because you know why I have an they see it. No, they see it first because like they have a thing. It's like a gesture,
Yeah,
like
very.
they So when they see it, they ask me like, "What is that?" And then I've acquired that skill because I've had that experience in life. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have experiences in life, you cannot acquire people skills.
But and it's not fully true though, because so again, I grew up on the countryside of Sweden. We were 100 people in my village. Like there was like 2 girls born the same year, so we had to be best friends. Like I had no
Wow, that-
people to train my people skills with when it comes to experience because I had no experience. I was on a dirt road. But I feel like there's certain things that comes just like naturally with you that makes you interested in other people to the point where you can still connect. And that you can't train. And that you can get experiences and talk about common things with people, but there are certain things with social skills that you just have
Well,
to
you're
have.
talking about the it factor, and yeah, I agree, but what I'm saying is, we already know. Well, not we, but let's just say me and you are having an understanding right now that there is an it factor that is never going to be trained. You either got it or
Yeah.
you don't. But what I'm talking about is a balance of life,
True.
right? So if you want to be able to acquire all of these things, let's just say X, right? You want to go ahead and acquire all of X. You can do that, but don't forget to learn how to balance Y. Because if you have all of X and none of Y, you're going to be left with things that you don't want. You know, it's not an equation that
Yeah.
you really want to have. So I don't mind these guys who don't have swag.
There's no there. I don't think that those two align. If a woman is doing the pursuing, she's not awkward. She's not socially awkward, and she would never really have the courage to do that.
But she has
No, most-
confidence.
I'm
No,
about to
I
say,
think
yeah.
it's a matter of
Confidence.
No, she's not. She's the
No,
one that
no.
the women that pursue.
She's confident.
Confident.
Guys, she's more than confident. She's confident by results,
She's
which means she's
alpha.
successful.
Yeah.
Women that pursue men are the only women that pursue men are successful women because they know how to get what they want. Those are the type of women that pursue men. Those are the women I like, by the way. letting y'all know. But
It's like I'm talking about it in my book.
Look, I think
I'm a
there's two
pursuer.
things that was said, which is so
Yeah.
important. One, I think confidence plays a
Yeah.
vital role.
Definitely.
And what Anna said is that natural curiosity. When you have people that are just have a thirst for life, a natural curiosity, they want to learn things, they're going to approach you, they're going to talk to you. And then on top of that, that need for connection. So I think those three things are vital. When we talk about swag or people that are very charismatic, is that they have this air about them. They have an air of confidence. They have an air of curiosity. They have an air of wanting to connect with people. So maybe get out of your head a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and get out into the world.
Love that.
or get out
Amen.
of their head.
Amen.
We love when you
My
talk.
bad.
No, that was beautifully said.
She says, like, I want to be able to know that I can look at you and, have a casual smile across the room and, you come over and you talk to me. Girls simply do that.
That's my way to flirt.
It's
That's giving invitations, but that's not pursuing.
Me to come talk to you.
I'm talking about a girl
Giving me
that
a
pull
green
up
light
on
like
me.
you'll come through. I'm talking about pursuing. Like,
I feel like that's
DM it.
pursuing.
Like, hey,
I got that.
yeah,
That's-
spot, I'm
Yeah.
pulling
Yeah.
up.
it's a
Yep.
part of
I'm
pursuing
walking in a spot and you pulling
because
up.
I'm
Okay,
obviously
not
open
in an
to have
aggressive.
no, but I'm obviously open to having a
I like
conversation.
stalkers.
I am inviting you
We don't like
over.
stalkers.
Stuck me up, baby.
I think what Alan is
Weird.
thinking,
I'm just kidding.
I'm like,
Do
you about to
not
create a
stalk
mess
me.
right now.
when you're
Okay.
thinking
Stalk
about
me,
a
I shot you
woman-
out.
That's why I have a 305 number. Don't
But
stalk.
Alan, you're thinking about a woman pursuing the same way a man pursuing. So you naturally think of aggression. And no, women do not. Women can be very subtle
Mm-hmm.
and they are approaching you, but they're not aggressive. It is so subtle. The guy picks up on it and the deal is closed.
Mm-hmm.
If he does, like, this is the thing. Well, now we getting with the women mind games thing. It took,
What's my game?
like, for example, we've all, I think was it Think Like a Man? When she was like trying to throw him all the signs that to have sex and he didn't catch it and she was so mad.
I remember that.
Yeah, like, see, that's the problem. See, that's not pursuing. That's just throwing hints. And that's a guessing game. When you pursuing is, yo, I like you.
Okay,
Yeah.
would a man say that?
Yes.
And if a man said that, wouldn't that be corny?
Well, not like that, but there's a way to
Who the
do
fuck is
it.
gonna say
There's an
that?
example.
That's
I'm
what
not
saying.
coming over to say that to nobody.
All right, you guys are missing the
look
point.
like?
It's basically
I'm paying
it's
for
basically he's saying that there's women, and I got DMs to prove it. You know what I'm saying? That will pursue
ask for
you.
that.
You feel me? And they pursue you, and some of them are aggressive, and some of them are just direct. And when it's like a direct thing, like, hey, I like what you do. I like who I think you are. I want to get to know you. That is pursuing. You know what I'm saying? Anything, any way we want to say it, shape it, form it, whatever, that is pursuing. And there are some women who are naturally just going to do that. I believe those women understand that the type of men that they're going after, there's a lot of women already in his vision. So she understands that in order for him to really look at her, she needs to step up. And those are the women that get the man that they want rather than the other end of the spectrum where, they're getting the men.
Well, I'm gonna just pass my
that
eye
they
because I
thought
like
they
to
liked.
be desired.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna just pass my eye because I like to be desired. I'm gonna throw you that eye for you to come over here.
He
And
looking.
we gonna talk when you come over here.
Okay, so let's say you throwing him the eye, right? And I'm just using this as an example. You feel me? And Anna is standing right behind you, and Anna is going like this.
Like,
She's going like this. Anna's like this, right? And now he's walking. You think he's coming to you with your phony ass little eye, and he's going to the girl that said, "Come over here," because that attracted him. There's something about a woman who really is going to say, "Hey, I want something," and shows that she's like initiating whatever the action is to get it. A man is gonna like that.
really?
Not the older men who's been, programming in whatever, the 50-year-old dudes. Them they got a little insecurity problems when it comes to that. But you take a 30, 32, 28, anywhere between 35 and younger, you're gonna be like, oh, I kind of like this. Now, if you all thirsty and sticking your tongue out and all this extra wild, he's gonna be like, nah, I don't want no smoke. But if you do it in a nice, professional way,
Her to get that off, Rico.
If a girl went like this to me in the club, I'd be like, hold on, time out, bro, hold on, she's bugging. Let me go see what she wants.
For a girl to get basically Rico is saying that the girl's bagging you, right? For a girl to bag you, she really gotta be nice with her. You gotta.
Yeah, I would have
You gotta be really cute.
I ran into some
Yeah.
women like that, and you know,
I would
listen,
never.
look, you know, like I get comfortable now.
Put his
I was
legs
about to
up.
say, what is this?
This is how we talk. Like, I'm like, oh, so what do you do?
Well, what's your name?
So what's your name? Oh yeah, where you? They hand out like this. You're like, oh really? Stop it. You're like, oh my. No.
What if you go on the guy's page, you like his pictures, you do all the smooth shit. You did your shit real clean though, nothing dirty, no thirst, nothing of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, all right, you wanna would you like to meet up for a drink? And then you meet, and he's freaking socially awkward.
Oh.
He doesn't know how to talk to girls.
Well,
Do you take lead?
Well, for one, I wouldn't meet up with anybody right away. I would ask for their number and we can text. And maybe for a while, after talking to them for a while and I want to see them in person, then we can set that up. Because I think that I would know if you're socially awkward first before meeting up with you.
No, that's not gonna happen. You know why? They actually did a study already and said that most men are socially awkward, the younger generation, because they're used to talking to people through a phone, through an app.
Mhm.
So they don't know how to actually speak to women, like actual physically speak. Like I could take time to text you back. We had real shit. We had friends who couldn't talk to girls. They'll give us their phone, and like me, my homeboy Haas, my homeboy Quasi, we was the women experts.
Bro, so y'all just be tossing a phone,
And I'll be
responding to the
I be
one girl?
I know well no, it'll be like, let's say you're Bobby and you just bagged Jennifer, right? And you like, yo, Rico, like, can you talk to Jennifer for me? And I have his phone and I be talking to I know more about Jennifer than him. There's a point in time one of my boys gave a girl my number to talk to her, and I set up the link because she knew what he looked like already. I set up the link and she came and met with him, and he ended up cracking, but she didn't know nothing about him. I was talking to her the whole time.
This is why that doesn't.
But I'm
not
saying
that it
you would
doesn't
never
work,
know.
But okay, true. In that situation, I would never know. But
You know how
for
many
that,
dudes
for
do
that
this?
person, that guy wasn't interested in knowing me if he sent the phone off to his friend to say, "Yo, talk to this shorty for me."
No, he is. He just
He's
doesn't know how to
insecure,
talk to
yeah.
you.
He's insecure.
He's like, yo,
okay,
Rico's that
say-
guy. He's gonna
say
get the
I-
deal done.
Okay,
yeah.
but that only works for but so long, because say if I was texting you for a week and after that week I decided to meet up with you and you're awkward, I probably might give that a pass because I'm like, maybe he was
Well, he
nervous.
hit, don't forget.
I don't know. Yeah, I've been
What?
bamboozled.
See, but that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I've been bamboozled to the point where I was talking to a man for like a month and a half straight, and then he buys me a flight to go to Orlando to go to freaking Disney World, which I feel like that's like a. Okay, sorry.
That
for
was-
call-
that
he's-
was
I don't
already
think he's
awkward.
watching this. It doesn't matter, but.
It was
He
awkward.
was so amazing over text, kind of over phone too. We meet up. It was the most socially awkward thing. It was me having a conversation with myself for 2 days. Like, he was so
Yes.
nervous. He was
Yeah, that's what. That's
so
why I would give
nervous
it
and
a pass,
intimidated.
because I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe the
She
guy
said 2
is
days.
No.
Days, not
nervous.
dates.
But no, I said the first time I meet up with him, I would excuse it and I would make the excuse that maybe he's nervous. But if the second time and you're like still awkward, like we only been talking for a week, you're the.
But no, so the main purpose of this whole thing, right? Let's not lose sight of the actual question. The question was, if you meet up, you get a man's number, and then he, blah, blah, then y'all meet up. Your response was, we would be texting first, so I would actually know he's awkward before we met up. And we gave you examples and ways and bunch of different life experiences of why you still wouldn't know he's awkward until you meet up. So now let's go back to that. What's going to happen when you meet up? Like, you just going to give him one pass? You're going to give him 2 passes? How socially awkward can you actually, how much social awkwardness can you actually deal with?
Well, I really like vibes. I would have liked if we would have vibed on the very first time that we linked in person. And if that did not happen, I would only give 1 pass. There's but so much time I'm going to let go by before I feel like a vibe is going to be there. It's not.
What if y'all, all right, you got a dead ass, whack ass date? Y'all both go home separate ways, okay? And now he back texting his game.
Mm-mm.
You
Then I'ma ask, but
Like,
we
respectfully.
already
then I'ma ask.
No, but no,
I'm like,
if we already been
respectfully,
talking,
but
Who
like
am I
that was
talking
not
to?
a vibe. Like we both felt it wasn't a vibe.
Right.
Like,
Nah, he's still
no,
gonna
because
try.
If he,
Yeah, I know.
If he back to being like him
The
that I
Rico?
know, the Rico, right? I'm gonna be like, yo, so what was up today? You was nervous or something?
You be like, yeah, a little. Rico told me to say that.
Piss my
But
pants.
you know what's so crazy? But
I don't
feel
know.
like I think what Rico is saying, and I agree with. Women lead with their outside, which is their beauty, and men probably should lead with what's inside,
Yes.
which is who they are.
I don't agree with that.
I'm so
at
glad
all.
you said that, Alan. I just gotta say this because I've been saying this for like 2 weeks, but through like friend to friend conversation. And I think that the part of the problem right now with having people who are socially awkward and meeting them and wasting time and then everybody getting mad at the dating pool is simply because women are dating materials and women are not dating substance. And when the woman starts looking for substance over materials, then she'll find a man that's actually gonna be worth it. But when she's leading with her eyes by what he has, what he can provide, and what he's actually doing from a gesture standpoint, she's never gonna know who he really is at his core. So then that's why they get bamboozled. Some men can put up that act for a long time.
That's true.
And now,
And
you know what I'm
I think
saying?
women fall. In
Scam
my
of them
opinion,
there.
not to speak for women, but I honestly feel that a woman only really truly falls in
Men are
love with a
deceiving.
man's core.
Yeah.
The truth
Yeah.
of who he is.
You can have whatever billions you want, and I'm
Yeah.
still gonna be like, if we're not vibing,
Yeah.
meh.
You can't get to the core. There's
Like,
no
yeah,
Wi-Fi
yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
But like, let's say if you're not saying you are, this is the issue. If you're a woman who who vibes off of experiences, right? Then he doesn't ever have to know who he is and present who he is as long as he can provide those experiences until you get tired of it. Not saying that you are, right? So what's happening is you have these 10, 15-year marriages, maybe 5-year marriages who they got involved usually because they were not fully in love. They were just in love with what was going on, what was being provided, and the idea of who that man was until you have to really sit down with him. We had a whole life experience across this whole country where the most amount of people have broken up and or divorced during COVID because why? They were spending time with each other, which means they never knew who each other really was. You feel what I'm saying?
But how can you
Not Alan and Yumi.
No,
You
but
feel me?
how
Because
can
they
you-
was here like the core. You know what I'm saying? Like the Earth's core, solid.
But how can you continue to date someone or be with someone just by what they provide for you,
You can't.
without no emotional connection?
Yeah.
Because and let me tell you why it really won't happen unless you really don't like this person. I've been on multiple dates with one person, and we were going places. I enjoyed the experiences, but I could not wrap my finger around why I wasn't really fulfilled with these experiences, and it was just because I wasn't connecting with that person emotionally. So those experiences didn't mean much to me. Grateful for them. I love that you took me here and here and here. It was a great time, but me and you don't have any emotional connection. So that doesn't lead anyone to stay in any situation just because they're providing you an experience.
Well, it depends, right, on how much you really. Like I said, everybody's different. Some people love experiences enough.
Yeah.
Where it does.
It's also the only thing that they don't even contribute themselves to the situation. So the only thing that contributes is the experience. So you can live off that for a pretty long time if that's who you are. But for me, if I can't sit on the couch with you and watch 90 Day Fiance and smoke a blunt and have the best time of my life, we're not gonna. That's not gonna happen after that.
So let's be real, right, ladies? How long have you dealt with somebody who was not what you know that you want now?
I dated a billionaire at a point for about a month and a half. And the third time we went to see each other, it was so painful to my core. Because I was like, bro, I know I'm trying to actively date someone that's good for me. But I want to go back to the Bronx and I want to hang out with my
Yeah.
trappers and have a good time on the stoop. I can't do this. So a month and a half. I try to force myself to like this person.
So now let me ask you another question. Why did you deem that person, the billionaire, good for you?
Because he was extremely caring. He liked me a lot. So that was the initial portion of it, right? And then it would have made my life very easy if I was to like him and stay with him. But it doesn't matter in the end. Like you can give someone all the materialistic things, and if it's not a connection, it's not a connection.
Yeah. And you know what's so crazy is that a lot of times a guy cannot have the finances, but be the guy of substance that you women may want. But because he doesn't have the substance, I mean, because he doesn't have the finances, he doesn't get that month and a half
That's true.
leeway. He doesn't get that chance.
That's not always true.
I'm not saying always, right? Nothing is always.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of when I say good men, I'm not talking about the nice guys that's whining in the comments. I'm talking about good.
Don't we appreciate those?
No, I'm talking about there's a lot of good men for you. You feel me? That are that cool guy that can smoke a blunt with you and watch 90 Day Fiance, and then y'all have a ball and eat ice cream, right? I don't know, but the thing is, like, maybe he might not be a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? So, and on the flip side for men, right? There's a lot of good women. Maybe she might not look like a bottle girl. And so, like, we have to learn.
Shout out to the bottle girls.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with a couple. You know what I'm saying? But
Ow.
I'm saying that the woman that you might want, or the guy or the girl that you might want, nobody's finding it because there's no substance that's being sought after.
But Rico, can I just interject?
It's like,
I
I'm a
wanna
substance
just
dude,
say
you
something,
feel me?
right?
Like-
I think that when it comes
Kinda.
to successful guys that are successful, I think that journey to success brought you a lot of knowledge. That journey to success brought you a lot of depth. Like Holiday would say, depth.
Depth.
For my accent.
Depth.
So it
Depth.
made
Not
you
depth,
have a deeper
y'all.
insight,
Depth.
right?
Depth?
Yeah,
PTA?
yeah.
Okay. I thought you,
DEP. I'm gonna let it slide. I'm an immigrant. It's not my
I
language.
thought it was. I thought you were saying
I'm on the same boat.
EBT.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
so I think those men, be very honest with you, they've dealt with a lot of intellectual energy. When they meet a woman, they lead with that. And I think that when you meet a woman, surface is okay in the beginning. And then slowly go to your core.
Yeah.
Because if I've been through 100 countries and saved people and did this, when I'm having a conversation with you, I might jump off with a deep conversation. And that go for dudes that are broke and rich who have knowledge. They lead with it. And a lot of time women be like, dude, this is so boring.
First of all, nobody.
Nah, I would never give that advice, Alan.
About yourself.
I would never give that advice.
Don't lead
That's
by
not in my
talking
book.
About yourself.
No.
Like, if you're
Yeah.
on a date,
Connect.
especially,
Yeah.
you know, nothing is worse than a pretentious.
A blunt and housewives, right?
Yeah, but you said
90 Day
I
Fiancé,
understand.
beg your
Anna,
pardon.
I understand what you're saying because it's those moments you just vibing, you laughing,
Yeah.
you joking, you're building that connection, and
That's-
you're being authentic with the person.
Yeah.
You just vibing. But when you have people who are extremely educated and they want to come in and do the most and be pretentious, nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to
Right.
hear that you
they
traveled
don't
the
have
world.
no other information.
Dude,
That's the
ask
issue.
her
Yeah.
They have
questions.
no other information.
Ask her
Yeah.
They sit with
questions.
you and saying like, "Hey, yeah, you know, the
They don't
UN
have
had a
swag.
meeting this
Yeah.
morning, and it kind of concerned me because I'm
I tried
worried
to say
about
that.
global
Gotta have
warming."
swag.
And the,
Yeah.
Those
Wait,
people.
Wait,
those
have you-
people,
me about myself.
But those people honestly don't get to travel the world. Like those people are not those people have no experiences. You know, like there's a problem with being a workaholic. And when you're a workaholic, you're usually single track minded. You can't see anything outside of it. And granted, can you acquire success? Yes. But you can also acquire some attributes that are actually so unattractive to the person that you want that you will never get the person that you crave. And then at that point, you're just going to be left in hunger. No matter how much you eat, no matter where you eat at, you're going to always crave something you can never get. So, like, I think, like, it's important to be like, yeah, you know what? You don't have to lead with your finances in any way, shape, or form. You don't talk about your accolades. Who cares, right? You don't lead with your finances and try to take her out on the, you know, I almost said the place, but
Please don't.
Because I'm really good. You
Snitches
see how
get
good I get this, like,
stitches,
doobie-doo?
Rico.
You don't gotta.
I was gonna be like, don't buy his book.
Rico,
You don't gotta-
let you
Don't
go.
buy it.
You don't
That was a
gotta.
close one.
So,
Yeah.
so Rico, let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question. If
Don't sweat now.
and I'm gonna say this, right? Let's just
Because
say,
I had to woo woo woo.
Yeah.
Like-
Ooh, ooh,
let's say, Rico, let's say you're a doctor, right? You,
No.
Rico Hundo, let's say you're a doctor.
I am, but not that kind.
But no, and let's say you're having a
Things
conversation.
are dangerously
with,
close right now.
Okay, let's say I'm a lawyer.
no, let's say no. Let's say you're a lawyer. No, let's say you're a lawyer and you sue companies for whatever reason, right?
Okay.
And then you're on a date, and as you're on a date, you're about to. She's like, "Oh, let me grab this for my brother. I'm grabbing all this junk food, like some hood chicken fried thing, whatever with grease." And then you're like,
Whoa,
"Dang."
what? No.
No, let's just. But what I'm saying is like, let's say you say to her like, "Yo,
Kind of woman you got me with. Okay, I'm done asking questions. Go ahead. I'm listening, Alan.
let's say you say to her something like, yo, colon cancer is the disease and cause of death in African American male. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like this is real life. And sometimes these people they got that information and they don't know how to turn it off.
What?
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
oh no, time
you
out.
on your date. No, let's say you
Your
on your
nickname
date
would
and,
be Google.
and then
That's what
she
they call
goes
me.
and grabs something. She says she's gonna bring it to her brother. You're like, yo, that might be a little unhealthy for you to bring to your brother. And she's like, I'm trying to go to the club. I want to go party. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I'm trying to explain something. So it throws you off.
Nah, it
Yeah.
doesn't. Yo, let me tell you something. Guys, don't listen to that. I'm being serious. Like back in college, they used to call me Google because I know random facts, right? Or whatever. And I was one of those people. And you know what the greatest thing is when I led with that, did I turn off some girls? Yeah, but I look back at where they at right now and I don't want to be with them at all.
But I feel like
So
you
I'm
would say it with
cool.
a smile and like charm. Like there's like
Yeah,
men
yeah.
that say
A
it with
random
like
fact, by the way, is just a little charming situation.
Yeah, like
But
girls
when you're
want smart
giving
men.
me a whole thesis on why I shouldn't do something.
yeah.
98% of Americans show that, like, and it's like, bro, chill out.
Yeah.
I didn't come to hear the lecture. I came to have a meal with you and have an authentic conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
That having a random fact is fun. Like, did you know that hippos kill about 7 people per year? That's crazy. You'd be like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Are we talking about hippos or is that the randomest of facts that you came
No,
up
I had
with right now?
like I had a man.
See, that's weird as fuck. I would not do that.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to tell you, stay on topic. So if you go ahead and you about to eat mad fried chicken and be like, yo, colon cancer is the leading cause of death and it's due to inflammation. You know what? I actually talked to this guy named Dr. Holistic. Do you know who that man is? You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah,
exactly.
like
They say it with charm. Like it's a
Not
whole
like-
different thing. Like, but if you sat down and try to school someone, I'd be like,
Yes.
bitch, I'm gonna eat these fries and this fried chicken, and you can't say nothing.
and I'd be like, you know what? Give me a bite too. It's
Yeah.
all right. We're gonna die together.
Yeah.
Like-
I don't give a fuck about what you're talking
like-
about.
She'd be like, oh my God, you really want to die with me?
I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. I'm gonna eat this.
I'd be like, yeah, this is the last time seeing her. Moving on. Yo, bro, I gotta get up out of here. like, because realistically, not all guys and women are intelligent. But if you have intelligence, I do agree you shouldn't overload. But if you're a guy and you're intelligent, being intelligent as a man right now in the dating world is rare. It is rare.
It works against you.
Nah, it actually works for you because now so many girls have dated so many dudes with money that money is normal. So many dudes have dated so many guys who was cool, so being cool is normal for them. But you know what they have not dated? Somebody who is intelligent. And if they did, they probably was with them for
No,
a very long
girls
time and got a traumatic experience.
Girls actually they like to date people who they can, gain knowledge from.
I know,
Like,
come
that
on.
adds some kind of value to their life. Like being smart is so cool to
Not
girls.
just book smart, by the way.
Yeah,
I feel
No,
Yeah.
and not just book
Enlightened,
smart.
like,
Yeah,
actually,
Yeah.
like
enlightened.
if you
Yeah.
teach
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
anything, I like that. I
Yeah.
like to let me know something that I didn't know before that.
Yeah.
You know what? Thank you for saying that. Miss Batista, that's my mother. She told me something.
Is that a wrestler?
Huh?
That's a wrestler, right?
Oh yeah, he was a wrestler. Yeah. My mom taught me something. She said, if you ever want to make a girl never forget you, you teach her something. And you'll always have a piece of her. So I don't say I look for what I can teach a girl, but like any moment that I'm like, okay, cool, I'll ask a question. Do you know about such and such, as long as it's relative to the topic? And if she says no, I would definitely try to give her a teachable moment. Now it's not belittling, it's not schooling.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and then come on, man. And then ask me why I have good exes, because I taught them all. You know what I'm saying? I
We'll do a poll after and see if this is true. By the
Yeah.
way.
Don't do it, please. There's a lot of things there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bet.
Anna,
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything coming up that you would like to share with our audience?
I'm just spiraling in general, so just follow me on Instagram. I post a little too much
I
for my
love
mom's
it.
liking, but I'm having a great time. So just follow me on Instagram, Anna So Sweede, Swede as in Swedish. But yeah, no, just a lot of trips, good times, and breaking hearts.
Yo, I like
Not on
Anna. She's
purpose,
dope.
though.
Not on purpose. I
With
would
good
love
intent.
to find love.
I love to
She's
find
a
love.
Yeah, I would love to find love. Actually, get me on 90-Day Fiance. at one
Yeah?
point.
Are you gonna sponsor someone?
I can't.
Or are
I'm
you-
still,
are
I'm
you
still
gonna-
on a visa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I would have to be
Oh,
the
so
immigrant.
You would
yeah.
have to be the. Oh my god.
Well, that might be dope. We might be able to
I
make that
am the
work.
immigrant, so
Anna, in about like 30 minutes, you're gonna have
You gonna have
40 dudes in your DMs.
oh my god.
Pour that pop.
I'm already stressed with my DMs, but yes, let them come.
Would you marry a guy and go on 90 Day Fiancé?
Fuck it. Well, it's 90-Day Fiance for a reason, so we got 9 days to decide
to get married.
to get
Yeah.
married or not.
But would you
I
do
am
it?
down for the trip. Yeah.
That's dope.
All right.
I'm gonna send you a couple
Put a little
Qualifying guys.
application on. Yeah.
Qualifying.
you let me know which one you like.
I'm here for it.
Sponsor 90 Day.
We can go local. I'm okay.
We
with
can go
moving to Jersey.
local.
I'm okay with moving to Jersey. Yeah.
Yo, y'all keep on here. Yo, Hollywood is coming back to Jersey, guys. Listen.
There
You know
we
what I'm
go.
saying? Yeah, so guys, just want to say thank you for supporting. Keep liking, keep subscribing, and keep sharing. Anna, you were great. Thank you for pulling up. Amanda, Sue, you're great too. Thank you for pulling up. No, I'm messing around. But yeah, so everybody keep on keeping on. We appreciate all the love. We need it. There's many different ways you can support us. You can go on the Amazon storefront. You can go on, Patreon. You can go on Datebox and get a subscription there. Many different ways to support us. Just please do. It's helping us keep the lights on. And we'll see you next time at 8 at the table.